to the very first session on data warehousing. This subject is very important because it is being studied by be it computer science students, the students who opt business analytics, the MBA analytics students, and even the MTech students. Now, this entire subject is quite important because you'll be having an insight into data warehousing architectures, why data warehousing is needed, what are the characteristics of data warehousing, the projects of data warehousing, the multi-dimensional data modeling model, the roll-up architecture, the MOLAP architecture, and the various types of decision support systems which are used for constructing a data warehouse. Now, let me tell you that this is the very first unit, so we will be having just an overview of data warehousing systems. By the end of this course, you will be able to answer the following questions. Number 1, why exactly the world needs a data warehouse? How data warehouse differs from traditional or operational databases and RDBMS? Where does OLAP stand in the data warehouse picture? Number 4, what are the different data warehouse and OLAP models or schemas? So, here we will be studying the star schema, the snowflake schema, and so on. How to implement and test these schemas? How to perform the ETL process which is there in a data warehouse system, that is extract, transform, and load process. Then what is data cleaning? Okay, also known as data cleansing. How to perform data cleansing operations? What are the various techniques for the data cleansing algorithms? Which different architectures have been reported in the literature? What are the strengths and the weaknesses of each architecture? What latest areas of research and development are stemming out of data warehouse domain or field? So, first introduction to data warehousing, that what is the basic definition of data warehouse? It is a collection of integrated subject oriented databases designed to supply the information required for decision making as defined by W. Inmon. Some have defined it as a decision support database that is maintained separately from the organization's operational databases. Turban and his associates have defined it as a physical repository where relational data are specially organized to provide enterprise-wide clean data in a standardized format. Kimball's definition of data warehouse is simply a data warehouse is a copy of transactional data specifically structured for querying and analysis. Now, let me tell you that the 1990s may be remembered as the decade during which organizations began to recognize the strategic use of data as a discipline entirely different from operational use. So, earlier we had got operational database systems or OLTP systems which have been traditionally designed to meet mission critical requirements for online transaction processing and batch processing. Whereas, in contrast, the strategic data systems or the strategic information is characterized by online and ad hoc query processing for batch intelligence gathering functions for decision support. So, a data warehouse has emerged as a recognition of the value and role of information. It is the means for this strategic data usage. It is not the same, basically, is not exactly the same as a DSS. Rather, a data warehouse is a platform with integrated data of improved quality to support many decision support systems and executive information system applications and processes within an enterprise. Data warehousing improves the productivity of corporate decision makers through consolidation, conversion, transformation, and integration of operational data. These are the 4 important processes. I repeat the processes are consolidation, conversion, transformation, and integration of operational data. This is also known as the ETL process, the extract, transform, load process, and provides a consistent view of an enterprise. In short, data warehousing is a blend of technologies aimed at effective integration of operational databases into an environment that enables strategic use of data. These technologies, particularly data warehousing technologies, include relational and multi-dimensional database management systems, client-server architectures, metadata modeling and repositories, graphical user interfaces, and much more. According to the International Data Corporation (IDC), there are some reasons for having data warehouse implementation because it produces huge amount of ROI. What is ROI? Return on investment. And some of the reasons are as follows: the ability to focus on business process and perform a complete financial analysis of the process, thus enabling organizations to make decisions based on an understanding of the entire system rather than using rough estimates which are based on incomplete or inconsistent data. The second reason for having huge ROI with the advent of data warehousing systems is the ability to rationalize and automate the process of building an integrated enterprise-wide information store rather than developing many individual decision support systems. The third reason is the hardware, software and storage costs related to the development, deployment and maintenance of large information data stores continue to decline. Another reason is that the benefits of data warehousing can be easily extended to strategic decision making, which can yield very large and tangible benefits. Another reason, the ability to simultaneously understand and manage both the macro and micro perspectives of the organization can save organizations countless hours of manual work and can help avoid making costly mistakes that can be a result of assumptions based on incomplete or incorrect data. The IDC study concluded that on an average 3-year ROI in data warehouse systems reached 401%, with over 90% of the surveyed companies reporting a 40% ROI. Half of the companies reporting over 160% ROI and a quarter showing returns greater than 600%. So you can understand that how data warehousing and its related technologies can be used to achieve very drastic results. So traditionally, business organizations create billions of bytes of data about all aspects of business every day, which contain millions of individual facts about their customers, products, operations and people. However, this data is locked up and it is extremely difficult to get at. Only a small fraction of data that is captured, processed and stored in the enterprise is actually available to executives and decision makers. Recently, new concepts and tools have now evolved into a new technology that make it possible to provide all the key people within the enterprise with access to whatever level of information needed for the enterprise to survive and prosper in an increasingly competitive world. The term that is used for this new technology is simply data warehousing. So in this unit, I will be discussing about the basic concept and terminology related to data warehousing. A data warehouse is all about using information your business has gathered to help it react better, smarter, quicker and more efficiently. So myself, Professor Ravi Prakash, who is a specialist in computer science and teaching and research from the last 20 years, have worked on various platforms such as database platforms, operation systems, strategic systems. They have made the students work on data warehousing projects, data mining projects and a lot of projects related to data sciences. So what is data warehousing? It's simply a process for collecting and managing data from multiple sources or heterogeneous sources to provide meaningful business insights. A data warehouse is typically used to connect and analyze business data from these heterogeneous sources. Why are they saying heterogeneous? Because on one source I can be having the database in Oracle. From another source for the same type of business data, I could be having the database in IBM DB2. That is another database software. Another company could be having the database stored in MS Excel. Some other company could be having the database stored in Microsoft Access and so on. The data warehouse is the core of the business intelligence system, which is built for data analysis and reporting. So simply speaking, data warehouse as I told earlier also, it's a blend of technologies and components which aids the strategic use of data. Now remember, strategic use means long-term use of data. So this strategic data will be used by the top executive, the people working at the top level who are nothing but decision makers. Okay, for what? Forecasting what projects the company will deliver or what products will now be delivered or will now be developed. So it is electronic storage of a large amount of information by a business which is designed for query and analysis instead of transaction processing. So data warehousing is a process of transforming data into information and making it available to users in a timely manner to make a difference. In some context, you will find that data warehouse systems, because they are based on decision support systems or strategic information systems, so it is also called as decision support databases. So the decision support database or data warehouse is maintained separately from the organization's daily database, which is called as operational database or traditional database or the OLTP of online transaction processing database. However, the data warehouse is not a product but an environment. Yes, this is very important. The data warehouse system is an environment, not a product. It is an architectural construct of information systems that provides users with current and historical decision support information that is hard to access or present in traditional operational data source. In fact, the data warehouse is a cornerstone of the organization's ability to do effective information processing, which, among other things, can enable and share the discovery and exploration of important business trends and dependencies that otherwise would have gone unnoticed. So let me tell you that in principle, the data warehouse can meet informational needs of knowledge workers and can provide strategic business opportunities by allowing the customers and vendors access to corporate data while maintaining necessary security measures. And there are several reasons why organizations consider data warehousing a critical need. These drivers for data warehousing can be found in the business climate of a global marketplace, in the changing organizational structures of successful corporations, and in the technology too. Talking from a business perspective or from a business point of view, in order to survive and succeed in today's highly competitive global environment, business users demand business answers mainly because number one, decisions need to be made quickly and correctly using all the available data. Number two, users are business domain experts, they are not computer professionals. Number three, the amount of data doubles up every 18 months, which affects response time and the sheer ability to comprehend its content. Lastly, competition is heating up in the area of business intelligence and added information value. So the necessity for data warehouses has increased as organizations distribute control away from the middle management layer that has traditionally provided and screened business information. So as users depend more and more on information obtained from IT systems, that is from critical success measures to vital business event related information, the need to provide an information warehouse for the remaining staff to use becomes more critical. Now there are two classes of information systems, which are simply what? Operational transaction systems, operational transaction which is called as OLTP systems, and strategic information systems. Okay, some people they also call it DSS, decision support system. These two class information systems are designed to satisfy different, often incompatible requirements. At the same time, your entire IT infrastructure is changing rapidly and its capabilities are increasing day by day, as evidenced by the following characteristics. Number one, the price of computer processing speed in MIPS, MIPS is what? Millions of instructions per second, continues to decline while the power of microprocessors doubles every 2 years. Another factor is that the price of digital storage is rapidly dropping. The third factor is network bandwidth is increasing while the price of high bandwidth is decreasing. The fourth factor is the workplace is increasingly heterogeneous in terms of hardware and software. Workplace means your organization. And lastly, legacy systems need to and can be integrated with new applications. So, these are nothing but the reasons as to why database systems have now become very much important. So, as I told you that data warehouse is not a product but environment. It is an architectural construct of an information system which provides users with current and historical decision support information which is difficult to access or present in the traditional operational store. Now, we studied data, if we study database systems, okay. So, database systems have got various types of normalization, that is first null form, second null form, third null form, BCNF, fourth null form, fifth null form. So, the need for having efficient databases that we should have 5 levels of normalization, starting from the first NF to the fifth null form. But let me tell you very clearly that at a minimum level, the degree of normalization should be 3 for a non-redundant or for a good database design. So, a good database design should be supporting up to 3NF. When I say up to 3NF, it means that it should obey the definition of first null form, the second null form and the third null form. So, here in this context, what I mean is that you know that a 3NF design database for an inventory system may have tables related to each other, okay, and all these tables are logically related, and we can have an ER diagram of the same. For example, a report on current inventory information can include more than 12 joined conditions. When I say joined conditions, is what? These are nothing but tables or relations which are joined to each other via table 1 dot column name is equal to table 2 dot another column. This can quickly slow down the response time of the query and report. A data warehouse provides a new design which can help to reduce the response time and helps to enhance the performance of queries for reports and analytics. Now, data warehouse systems, they are also known by the following systems, like you can call them as decision support systems, or EIS, executive information systems, or MIS, or BI solutions, analytics applications, or simply data warehouses. In other words, the data warehouse provides warehouse data that is already transformed and summarized, so making it an appropriate environment. Remember that data warehouse is an environment, not a product. Like Oracle is a product, Sybase is a product, IBM DB2 is a product, Microsoft Access is a product, SQL Server Database is a product, but data warehouse is an environment for the more efficient DSS and EIS applications. Here DSS stands for Decision Support Systems and EIS stands for Executive Information System, which are a tool used by the top management, the top level of information management. Simply speaking, a data warehouse is a collection of corporate information derived directly from operational systems, that is OLTP systems. OLTP systems, I told you, online transaction processing systems, and some external data sources which could be heterogeneous in nature. The specific purpose of data warehouse is to support business decisions, not business ask what if questions. So, what if analysis it is not there. What if analysis is nothing but a data mining. Okay. Next, the answer to these questions will ensure your business is proactive instead of reactive, a necessity in today's information age. From a practitioner's point of view, the people or the analysts or the data warehouse analysts or the organizations where data warehouse systems are practiced, a data warehouse is simply a single, complete and consistent store of data obtained from a variety of sources and made available to end users in a way that they can understand and use it in a business context. as defined by Barry Devlin, consultant of IBM. Now I am giving you an overview of data warehouse systems. Data warehousing is processing a huge amount of electronic data stored in recent years and use that data to accomplish goals that go beyond the routine tasks linked to daily processing, that is operational data. We also call it OLTP systems. Again, I am repeating that the daily data which you feed, the data which you fill into a database system using Oracle, any tool, Oracle or Sybase or DB2 is nothing but operational system. A data warehouse is a collection of data that supports decision making process. It provides following features such as it is subject oriented, it is integrated and consistent, it shows its evolution over a period of time, and it is non-volatile. We come to these features one by one. What is subject oriented, what is integrated, what is time variant, and so on. Conceptually, data warehouse is extremely simple. It is used to support the management decision making process. Now let me show you that these are the characteristics of data warehouse. Number one, subject oriented. That means that data are organized by how users refer to it. So the department, like I'll tell you that marketing department is a subject, finance department is a subject, operation department is another subject. So these are nothing but departmental data systems, which are nothing but the data warehouse for respective departments are nothing but subjects. We also call them, further we'll be calling them as data marts. Second characteristic development, integrated nature. That is, whatever noisy data, whatever data which was meaningless, which was carried from heterogeneous sources, but something which was irrelevant, incomplete, inconsistent. So all the inconsistencies are removed in both nomenclature and conflict information. That is, data are cleansed here. So this is what we call as data cleansing. The third characteristic of data warehouse is non-volatile nature. When I say non-volatile, that means you don't have the daily data or yesterday's data or today's data. Are you getting it? You have the data which has been fed into system over a period of time, like the data for the last 5 years. Okay. So I am analyzing data for the last 5 years, say 2014 to 2019. So that is the data warehouse. Data is read only data, it's non-volatile, and that is the data do not change over time. And last characteristic data warehouse is time variant. Data are collected over a period of time. That means their time series, not current data or daily data or current state of data. Data warehouse is designed around subjects. This is what I told you. Subject means departments, okay, or verticals in a company rather than process. Now let me give you an example. A company may have a retail sales system, an outlet sales system, or a catalog sales system. So what is this? Nothing but sales enterprise data. So this subject is what? Sales. So here the subject means that the data warehouse for this will have a sales subject area. So sales is now a subject, are you getting, or a department for a data warehouse. Now see, subject oriented. Now these are nothing but OLTP systems, the daily data which is fed into systems and collected over a period of time. Okay, catalog sales systems, outlet systems, retail, all these data are fed into a particular sales subject area, which is nothing but our subject oriented sales information, and this is nothing but a data warehouse. So the data warehouse here is what? Subject oriented. Why? What is that subject here? Sales. Integrated. Heterogeneous source systems need to integrate your source data. For example, product codes could be different in different systems, so you have to make it into a single and consistent product code, and they arrive at a common code in data warehouse. Integrated. When I say integrated, that means that all the information of the different sources is integrated well in advance, and it's stored in the data warehouse for direct querying and analysis. And this is what is shown in the figure. See here, the integrating what is metadata? Simply having information of data about the data. So all this, source, this is source 1, source 2, source 3. There may be n sources. So there is a tool such as extractor or monitor which will extract their data warehouse, the data from the different sources, okay, remove the inconsistencies, okay, and integrate into a single data system, that is nothing but integration system, and this integration system will be fed into a data warehouse. The third, non-volatile nature of data warehouse or characteristic. The operational update of data does not occur in the data warehouse data. That means that In the data warehouse, the data is not updated. Why? Because data is in a data warehouse is nothing but that which has been collected over a period of time, say the last 3 years or the last 5 years. Are you getting it? It is not the data of the current year or the current month or the current date. Clear? So it does not require transaction processing, recovery and concurrency control mechanisms, which is required in the case of what? Daily data or operational database systems. It requires only two operations in data accessing. One is what? Initial load of data and access data. This is what I call you the ATL process: extract, transform and load. I repeat, extract, transform and load. See, what is extract? See, extract. Then transform means removing the inconsistencies, and then load the data into the data warehouse. So, as I told you that data in a data warehouse is nothing but over a period of time, so last 5 years, okay, not the current month or the current year. So, the users, they write the data, they feed the data, they update the data in operational database systems, which is nothing but OLTP systems, I repeat, online transaction processing systems. And this data over a period of time is collected, okay, and fed into a data warehouse. So, the users analyze or simply read data from a data warehouse. Lastly, time variant. The time horizon for the data warehouse is significantly longer. As I told you already, over a period of 5 years or 10 years. Are good. So, minimum is normally 3 years than that of operational systems. Operational database, that is current value data. Data warehouse stored data is nothing but provided information from a historical perspective. For example, the past 5 to 10 years, and you can see here. See here, it's hidden here 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. Data is now, sales data is now being analyzed. So, this is what we mean by, so see, the data for the last 5 years is being fed into the data warehouse system. So, this is what we mean by time variant nature of data warehouse system. So, data warehouses were developed to meet the growing demand for information analysis that could not be met by operational systems or OLTP systems for a range of reasons, for a variety of reasons. Data warehouses collected data from a range of different data sources such as mainframe computers, mini computers, PCs, laptops, desktops and office automation software such as spreadsheets, and integrate this entire data information into a single place, which is called as simply a data warehouse. The data warehouse enables the organization to make use of an enterprise-wide data to link or connect the information or integrate information from diverse sources. What are the diverse sources? Heterogeneous sources, and make the information accessible to the users for strategic analysis. Here the term strategic analysis is nothing but strategic information. It is simply a comprehensive term that includes trend analysis, forecasting, competitive analysis and targeted market research. So, that was all, my dear students, my dear friends, an intro or introduction to data warehousing systems. What are they? Why are they important? Okay, the need of data warehousing systems. Now, we will be further exploring data warehouse systems much detailed into our session 2. So, that is all for now. Thank you from Professor Prakash. If you really enjoyed or understood, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks everyone.